There are several different types of fireworks that you can use to make up your show. And we're going to start with the most popular item called a cake, Multishot Cake. It's a box that is pre-wired with multiple shots, one ignition, and bang, 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 bang. So why is it called a cake? Well, let's take the top paper off and see. Kind of like a birthday cake. Go figure. But here we can see the number of tubes. All the tubes are interconnected with the green visco fuse, which is an excellent time fuse. So with one ignition, the fuse will travel between each of the tubes, firing it off in turn. And very often with the cake, we'll have the final row as a grand finale. Now, there are two main types of cakes. This is a vertical cake with all the tubes angled straight up. Second type of cake is the fanned or angle cake, and as we can see, all of the cakes, all the tubes have been placed in a fan shape, and as it fires, it will fire in a fan shape, left to right and straight up. And very often with a fan cake, the final row will fire as a grand finale. The fan cake will paint a larger part of the sky compared to the vertical. The vertical, of course, is going to go always straight up, painting the same patch of sky. The fan cake is going to be going left and right and painting a larger part of the sky. So why would I use a vertical cake if it's not going to paint more of the sky? Well, the vertical cake can give you very different visual effects than the fan cake. So don't dismiss this. A good show will have a combination of both fanned and vertical. Now, in some show sites, you may not have the space to be able to have fireworks fanning left and right, and in that situation, a vertical cake is a good bet. Okay, so what do cakes do? What comes out of them? Well, a wide range of effects are packed with the cakes. A large number of cakes will eject these inserts that will travel to the top of the trajectory in the sky. They're self-fused, and they'll produce noise such as buzzers, whistles, screamers, streaming sparks, and some of them will explode and give us a burst of stars. Some cakes are mine cake and will eject many small stars in a burst. Think of it as a birdshot shotgun cartridge. Comes out with a very large burst of stars. And the cakes can be a combination of both, so that a cake can have many different effects in it at the same time. We have a wide range of cakes to choose from. In fact, over 100 cakes, from little ones of this size, of just over $5, 7-shot, duration of perhaps 7 seconds, to a large cake like this, $85, 100 shots with a duration of 60 seconds, and everything in between. So lots of items to choose from. Bombshells. Bombshells eject a shell high into the sky, and then it explodes, giving us a burst of stars. It's probably the main component of most professional displays. It's a cardboard mortar with a plastic base, fuse, a single shot, just one bombshell. What it contains is, this is the bombshell. And when you light the fuse, the gunpowder lift charge will send that bombshell rocketing into the sky, and when it reaches the top of its trajectory, boom, we get our burst of stars. Very nice. Next item is a mine. Now, it looks like a bombshell, but it's a very different effect. Again, think of a shotgun cartridge with birdshot. A mine will send out an eruption of effects. It won't go as high as the bombshell, but it's a very dramatic effect, and I really like mines. Mines can contain several inserts, such as this. Here we have 3 different effects coming out of the same mine. These will go up and produce the effect, whether it is noise or stars, or the mine can be just a burst of colored stars, just depending on what effect you're looking for. But mines are a great addition to any show. A comet. It's just as it sounds, like Halley's Comet. It sends a burning star into the sky with a flittery tail behind it. And this is the comet that is ejected. It's a pellet of fireworks composition, and as it's blown out of the tube, it is burning, and as it ascends into the sky, it's being consumed as it goes up, and usually it will have a nice flittery tail behind it as it rises into the sky. Roman candles. When I was growing up, we had the burning schoolhouse and the rebel 10-ball candle. 10 times. Boring as sin. Well, we've still got Roman candles, and they can be a lot more exciting than the 10-ball of the old days, but it's a cardboard tube with a number of shots. Light the fuse, and what comes out are pellets, kind of similar to the Comet. They burn all the way up to the top of the trajectory, and they consume themselves as they go up. They don't explode, it's just a series of colored stars. Now let's move to Barrages, which is a bigger version of the Roman candle. Now you look at these and say, oh wow, those must have some really big pellets or some stars that come out of that. Well, no. What it is, a barrage is a number of Roman candles that are bundled together in this outer tube, and they're all fused together. So with one ignition, all of these Roman candles will fire simultaneously, and because there are multiple tubes, there can be a number of different effects, different colors, noise, crackle, and so on. So the last effect that we're going to look at is the fountain. And a fountain is a shower of sparks. They can be different colors that will come out and sparkle into the sky, kind of like a water fountain. And this is one of the simpler fountains, a cone fountain. What it contains is, that is the actual fountain. But for stability, it's always packaged in something to be placed on the ground. But with the ignition of the fuse, this will eject a nice sparkling fountain of color. Now we have bigger fountains available, something like this. What you see inside is actually a series of fountains. So with one ignition, these different fountains will ignite sometimes at the same time, sometimes with a bit of delay to increase the duration. And again, the fountains can have different colors, different effects in them, but they all provide a sparkling column. So those are the main types of fireworks available to us in the consumer category. There are many, many other items, whistles and bangers, spinners, and so on, but those are the smaller items, and the main components are what we have looked at already. Now the last thing that I will leave you with is we've taken you inside the fireworks of what actually comes out and what they do. I can't stress enough that under no circumstances try to dismantle any firework. Never ever try to modify or get at the inside of a firework. It is very dangerous, and with an accidental ignition you could have a very, very bad accident. And of course, it is also illegal and against the law. So buy your fireworks, set them up properly, and enjoy them. Have a great show, and don't try to take anything apart.